What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys another video. And today we're doing What If Shin Came Early Part 5. If you need a quick summary, Goku in this timeline died to the heart virus due to the fact that there was no future Trunks to come back. However, the androids are being manhandled by Gohan, who was turned into a Super Saiyan 2 from seeing his best friend Krillin die. Also in this timeline, Kami got his youth back, as well as the two humans learning the Kaioken and fusing into Tientra. Now, Gohan is being the android savagely in this video clip right here. Enjoyed that video clip because I actually made it. If anyone's doing an art degree or just a fan of art, let me know if you can tell the difference between the 17 and 18 here. After this battle, Gohan powers down and goes back to the others, who have been watching from the sidelines confused, but ultimately happy that he managed to pull off such a victory. They decide their best bet is to revive Krillin and anyone killed by those androids, and so the four gather the Dragon Balls and revive everyone including Krillin, who comes back in a matter of hours, days, minutes. It's hard to tell in their recent power and if Kami can find the Dragon Balls or not. Bulma then asks about these androids and if they know anything about them, which Gohan says he noticed something written on his shirt but he couldn't quite make it out. Krillin then said it was two R's with a red background, and Bulma's face freezes up, saying, "That's the logo for the Red Ribbon Army." After deducing who the scientist is, Bulma decides that maybe they should go to his lab and see if he has anything cool there. Maybe some blueprints to build some stronger androids that are nice, which everyone thinks is not a bad idea, but they definitely don't want any more androids. And so, Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Bulma, Kami and Gohan all go to the secret lab, where they open it to see it covered with dust and a dead, rotted body all on the ground, its head been decapitated off. Continuing inside the lab, they discover blueprints for an Android 19 which is ultimately scrapped, but in development and could be useful for the future. But Gohan yet again doesn't want any androids, and so they decide to just blow it up. At least the portion on the side, Bulma decides to sneakily take some blueprints. That'll probably come in handy for later, she thinks. After continuous searching, they find the underground lab, which holds a bunch more blueprints for a scrapped Android 16, which, again, Gohan does not want to awake, and Bulma sneakily takes the blueprints. Yamcha catches her, but Bulma just simply places a finger to her lips, alerting him that he can't say anything, otherwise Gohan will get really mad. They eventually come across a bio-android in a Bacta tank, very little and growing, and see some blueprints. They see that it was meant to absorb Android 17 and 18 and would get exponential power, and also that they have spy robots, viewing their every move, gathering their DNA. So, Tien and Kami decide that they'll go deal with these while they keep looking around, which everyone else thinks is a good idea. Gohan is about to blow it up, with no sympathy for an android, as he saw what one did, and that was cyborg-like. Imagine what a bio-android could do. Bulma stops him, however, saying that they can redeem this little android. It was just some work and maybe a couple blueprints. She'll be able to rewrite its DNA and its coding to make it a lot more friendly. Having full faith in Bulma, Gohan allows this, but he needs to make sure that no one can give it a bad influence, and someone safe must look after it. Someone who's a really good influence on people like this, who's a guardian of sorts. Gohan and Krillin step outside as Yamcha and Bulma continue to investigate. Kami is stood in the doorway destroying little insects, which are robots designed to spy on them so they can see all the DNA, and so Cell can grow even stronger. After briefing Kami on the situation, he ultimately accepts the role of taking care of this little android, saying that he'll probably be the best influence for it out of all of them. Bulma gets to work reprogramming it and ultimately making it Cell better. She makes it so that Cell is born instead of 17 years in 17 months, and also changes his diet so he can eat herbs and water, similar to how a Namekian can survive on very little solids and a lot of water. Kami adopts the creature, taking it to his palace and teaching it the ways of being the guardian. Cell is very curious and starts to explore, meeting Mr. Popo, who's quite nice to him, as Mr. Popo is back. Cell and Kami train together quite regularly, as same DNA is in his blood, and Cell needs to train. Kami also allows Cell to become the guardian of Earth once he's strong enough. However, he isn't quite yet. Maybe in a couple of years or so, he will be, once he gets more disciplined. Over the 6 years of Kami and Cell, he makes Cell quite stoic and a lot more like him, and so Cell becomes respectful in a way, kind of the opposite of himself in canon. Cell just likes to explore the earth on his off time and goes around seeing all the people and seeing how nice and kind they are, as well as getting a drink from the lake and eating some veg here and there. Also in the 6 years, Yamcha and Bulma finally buried the hatchet and gotten married and had a little girl named Bra. Bra is a child prodigy, at least in the Breeze family. She's even smarter than her mother and Tights at that age, which is saying a lot considering how smart they were at that age, meaning that Bra will probably become a really smart asset to the Z Fighters. Gohan in these 7 years has actually been training as well as studying and found a really good balance in between. Actually training all the humans, considering the fact that they don't have very many fighters and will need to band together in order to protect their Earth, which they hold so dear. He even still goes to school in his off time, meeting Videl as he does normally. However, I don't think he'd become the Great Saiyaman, as he's too busy training everyone. But I think them two would still train together. Either Videl catches Gohan just training the humans, or maybe Gohan mentions that he's training, and Videl blackmails him into letting her come along, because Videl's a really good fighter, at least in normal human standards. She's stronger than her dad, and Hercule can pull 4 buses, which ultimately tells you everything you need to know about her. Goku also announces that he's coming back for 7 days during the 25th Tenkaichi Budokai, and hopes that everyone will go. Gohan spreads the message and tells everyone, and they're really excited to see Goku again. And so everyone goes, including Tien and Chaozu this time, as I think instead of going off on their own, they'd actually remain with the Z Warriors, for reasons I've just mentioned. Gohan would train Videl, and also train with Tien, Chaozu, Krillin and Yamcha, whilst Kami trains with Cell upon the lookout. Then, the day arrives, it's 25th Tenkaichi Budokai. Everyone goes there, and I mean everyone. Oxkin, Roshi, just you name it, they're there. And Goku arrives for his 1 day. Everyone is ecstatic to see him after so long, including Gohan, as his father was really dear to him, and even though he's seen him before, when he had to go to Supreme Kai's, he still really loves seeing his father, and gives him a really big hug. Then Goku spots Cell and scratches the back of his head, asking, "Who is this? Have they met before?" And then everyone else explains to Goku what happened after they defeated the androids, except for the part where Bulma stole the files for Android 19 and 16, as she doesn't want that information getting out, and has also told Yamcha not to, which I think he wouldn't. He's a nice guy like that, and plus it's his wife after all. Why would he, grass on her? With Goku is Shin and Kibito, who he's been talking with very closely. They've told Goku that the day he's been training for has finally come. Over the past 20 years, Boo and Bobbity have finally been unearthed. In the tournament, events play out essentially as normal, even the Spopovich fight, which is really brutal, and I know a lot of people don't like looking at it. when Gohan is paralyzed and Yami and Spopovich are taking his energy, I think everyone will be a lot more understanding, considering the fact that they've known Shin and Kibito for ages, and so they trust him. Everyone rushes off to where Bobbity is, where he kills Spopovich and Yami as normal. Then he spits on Tien and Krillin instead of Piccolo and Krillin, which is obvious because Piccolo isn't there, and he could spit on Kami as an alternative, but I don't really want him to. I don't think that'd make a good story, and so I'd rather keep Kami instead of Tien, because Tien's useless, as shown in the Tournament of Power. Upon entering Bobity's ship, they all find Pui Pui and play Jankin to see who is gonna defeat the Margin. Shin is a lot more accustomed to their mannerisms and isn't yelling at them, actually trusting them this time. And so, Kami steps up against Pui Pui, killing him fairly easily. Then, Goku kills Yakon as normal, and Gohan fights Deborah in Super Saiyan 2, actually manhandling him. I think Super Saiyan 2 Gohan would be around the power of Mr. Gohan, and so he easily defeats the demon. Like, it's not even a competition. Bobby just teleports him out there before he dies, just as a safety mechanism. And so, in a last-ditch effort, he tries to possess Gohan, but his heart and his mind is pure, and he obviously deflects it. Where is Cell, you may ask? Well, I think Kami would leave him behind with Chaozu, deeming it unsafe for him to go, and he needs to learn discipline. He's not ready yet for the battlefield. I don't think Cell would stay, but rather he'd sneak off to go watch. And so, Bobbity takes the opportunity and searches for him, and quickly finds him. He wasn't looking for him specifically, but he found him. Then Bobbity starts chanting, "Papa, Papa," and Cell starts grabbing his head, and with no one around, no influences, Cell becomes Margin Cell and rushes in there, attacking his friends and listening to Bobbity, no one else. After being teleported into a wasteland, Gohan turns to Super Saiyan 2 and yells, "I knew he shouldn't have come. I should have killed him when I had the chance. Ah!" He fires a huge blast at Cell, which sweeps up the bio-android and sends him flying away, disintegrating him. Although Kami is sad, he understands why it had to happen. As everyone is mourning, they suddenly hear a clapping behind them, as they hear a voice. "Bravo, bravo! What a good show! Thank you, Son Gohan, for helping me achieve my perfect form." They all turn back to see Cell stood there, but much different. No, this isn't Cell they recognize. This is much different Cell. This is perfect Cell. And that's where I'm going to leave it here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you press that like and subscribe button. Don't press the bell if you don't really want to. I don't care. And stay tuned for part 6, which will come out very soon. If you like the animations, make sure you let me know down in the comments down below. Bye!